You're watching and listening to Stuck in the Middle podcast. This is a platform for entrepreneurs, innovators, and creators of African descent. We hear stories, ideas, and experiences on how we can break the mold, how we can break barriers. We appreciate y'all checking this episode out. If you want to support us, go on our website, sitmpodcast.com/store. Get your crew neck, get your sweater. It's that cold weather, you know what I'm saying? That's how we're able to drive this machine. Also, we have partnered with Perfect Office Solution. They provide affordable professional office space for entrepreneurs in the DMV area in over 7 locations. So hit them up if you need office space. Let them know we sent you. You get 10% off your lease if you use promo code SITM Podcast. That's 10% off. Perfect Office Solution. Go get you some professional, flexible office space. You heard? Listen, I'm excited for this podcast. I'm excited for this episode today. I got a special guest in the building. She's a longtime friend. She's a sister. And she's a mate. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the entrepreneur, the speaker, the founder, and CEO of Martha Lorraine LLC, Martha Lorraine Organics. Michelle Yancey, welcome to Stuck in the Middle, yo.
Thank you.
Yo, this is dope.
I know.
You're killing it.
Thank you.
I want to say from the onset, I'm proud of you.
All right, thank you.
This is coming from somebody who's known you for like 9 years now.
I know. It's
Yeah,
been a long time.
you doing your thing. For those who are unfamiliar, who is Michelle?
Well, Michelle is an entrepreneur. She's a mother, a woman of God, and an innovator.
I love it.
That's who Michelle is.
I love it. Like March, I want to say March 1st of this year, to honor Women's History Month. Women's History Month. You put out on your Instagram, you said, in your words, for months you have been planning this. Martha Lorraine, I'm introducing this to the world. What is this? What is Martha Lorraine?
Right.
Got a T-shirt, got everything.
I'm trying to be like you.
No. Keep that low key.
Well, so for people that do not know, you know, who or what Martha Lorraine is. First of all, Martha Lorraine is a natural skincare line. We specialize in skincare, natural skincare, and natural hair care. You know, just to start from the beginning, Martha is my grandmother.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Lorraine is my mother. And my mother named my youngest sister Martha Lorraine. So if you look at the logo, it's actually the head of my little sister in Africa.
Word.
So that's where the name comes from, because my grandmother and my mother are my greatest, you know, apart from God, inspiration. And that's where, you know, the name came about. But, you know, apart from that, you know, for the longest time, I've struggled with extremely sensitive skin, you know, acne-prone skin, and I couldn't really find anything that could cater to what I was dealing with. You know, I've used everything over the counter to try to, you know, counter the reactions I was getting from probably the way I was eating. You know, at the time I was younger, and, you know, we went to school together. So the fast food is endless. There are no home cooked meals.
Facts.
You know, so of course I probably wasn't taking care of my skin as best as I could have, and the over the counter products just wasn't working for me. So this one day, I love moisturizing, and I went and got this well-known moisturizing brand, and used it on my body. And when I tell you, my entire body broke out.
It's like you got hit with a plague.
Oh my God, it was so disgusting. I had like little bumps all over my body, and I was, you know, mortified. And then, you know, it being a summer, you know, as girls want to wear dresses and things like that, I was like, oh my God, like, what am I gonna do about this? So I had a roommate, and she's like, you know what, your skin is so sensitive, like, you know, what are you gonna do about this? And I'm like, you know what, why don't I go back to my roots? I'm African, you know, and I come from a household where my mother created her own products. My grandmother created her, you know, and I'm like, why don't I use those resources to try to create my own natural products? Because actually, when I read, after, you know, I had the reaction from that well-known moisturizer brand, when I read the back of the label, I couldn't understand half of the things that were in the ingredients. And I'm like, okay, I recognize water, check. I recognize alcohol, check. And then all the other names that I cannot even pronounce to you. So I'm like, you know, these moisturizing brand, they add so many, you know, unnatural or parabens in their products, things that we're not even aware of, and we just think that, you know, it's cool because it's out there. If it's on the counter, it's okay, right?
It's safe, yeah.
You know, it's safe to wear. And I quickly realized that was false. So what I decided to do, I started in my kitchen at school. This was in
This is UMES?
UMES 2013.
This for real been in the making a long time.
It's been in the making for a long time. Yes, it has. So
Shout out to Hog Pride, catch it.
Hog Pride. But yeah, so and then so I just started. I bought like shea butter and like just all these different natural ingredients, and I started making my own products, and I started using it on my face. And I used to have a lot of blemishes, like bumps and things like that. Try to use makeup to cover it up because I wanted it to look nice. And so when I started, mixing these different products in my kitchen at UMES, and I'm not sure if you're familiar, I stayed cooking at school.
Oh yeah, I was in that joint eating.
I stayed cooking, so I'm like, you know what? Let's put my kitchen to another good use. And so I started making my own moisturizer, and I started making my own like mask.
Did you know then that you were gonna sell, or was it just like I just
Nope.
want to help myself?
I was at that point in time, I was only helping myself because that was the struggle that I was personally going through, and it was an insecurity of mine also. And I'm like, I'm out in the public forum, I'm always attending all these events. Like my skin, I cannot be, preaching this one thing, and I'm not, and to me personally, I didn't look my best the way I would have liked. And so it was just at that time it was only for me. So I made my own mask, I made my own moisturizer for my face, I started making my own toner. I mean, everything skincare related. And like I said, at that time I was only doing it for myself, and my friends started noticing, like, girl, your skin is starting to look different from what it looked like. I mean, if I show you pictures, you would even be able to tell the difference. And so one of my girlfriends was like, why don't you sell this? And I'm like, you know what? I never thought about it, but it's actually true. A lot of people do have their struggles. And when I started Googling and researching, I started realizing that a lot of people had the same exact struggle as me, like super sensitive skin. A lot of products that over the counter that they might use is not working for them. So, then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do that.
So you mentioned earlier, going back to your roots, and you just mentioned your friend saying, hey, selling. You said research. What kind of research did you do first to say this might work for my skin to help, saying like what I'm struggling with?
Okay, so I went to the University of Google and
And YouTube.
and YouTube. I'm a YouTube grad and a Google grad.
I rate it.
So yeah, so I went on YouTube and I just started seeing, that's when I started realizing that this was an issue.
Facts,
this was an
yeah.
epidemic. Like a lot of people have sensitive skin. A lot of people have these the same exact issues I have. And so I started seeing what people started mixing and started seeing their ingredients and what they thought was working for them. So I started trying their things out, but then I also started researching the actual ingredients and seeing like what exactly is it, like what can shea butter do for me, or what can vitamin E do for me, what can boab oil do for me, what can lemon or honey, what does it do for your skin. And so after researching that, and I started putting like little concoctions together, and I started noticing like, oh, lemon is a natural bleaching agent. So therefore, all of my blemishes on my face, I could use that without bleaching my skin with these chemicals, where I could use a natural.
Oh, making a concoction that makes things worse.
Right, making something that makes things worse. It's like, I can naturally let my blemishes, fade, where I will still have my same skin color, and I will not have acne anymore. And, so that's where that started. I did all my research, and I did it for a very long time. For a very long time. So like you said, it's been a long time in the making. From 2013 to now, right? You're wondering, why did I
take that long?
Why did I take that long to launch? So I just always felt that, I wanted to wait for this perfect time to launch. And I told myself when I graduate, which was 2014, when I graduate, I am going to get this job. I'm going to get a job, and I'm going to save money. And I was a business major, so I had a plan. And I'm currently a project manager, so, I'm a planner. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to do it that way. I had a long path of how it should work business-wise.
Yeah.
And because I did not want to get a loan, and I didn't want to get investors
or a co-founder.
A co-founder.
Okay.
This is something that I'm extremely passionate about. I want to help people, and I want people that I do involved in my company have the same passion as me.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me that long because I was trying to save money. And even though I graduated and did get a job, I still didn't think like, oh, I'm getting paid enough to put money to the
Was
side.
that pressure put on yourself or from family? Because, you know, like here at Stuck in Middle, one of the things that we see is that you go to school, you graduate, you get a job from, like, you know what I'm saying, our traditions as
Right.
Africans. Was
Right.
that pressure put on you by the outside, meaning your family or yourself, just like, man, I want to establish myself before I launch this? Because other entrepreneurs might just say, I'm going full fledged. I don't
Right.
care if it crashes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So it was actually myself, and I am a perfectionist. So my family actually didn't even know that I had any plans about doing this.
And
at
shout
all.
out to you putting their names and things on that.
No, they had no clue. And to be honest, my mother, she had no idea. I told her, I'm like, oh, you know, I'm thinking, you know, Africans, they're like, oh, you're making your own lotion. How do you make lotion? You know,
Uh-huh.
they don't think about the bigger picture of things. And so this was something that they saw when it came to, you know, Full Throttle. That's when they were able to see the full vision. So, but yeah, between the time of 2013 and now me launching it, I was always putting things up to the next year. I'm like, you know what? New Year resolution. I'm going to save $5,000 to go towards this. Every single year I was doing that. And I realized last year, I'm like, you know what? I am tired of saying next year I'm going to do this, next year I'll do this, and the following year I'll do that. I'm like, I'm going to make 2019 my execution year. And that's what I call 2019 was my execution year.
Killing it.
Everything that I said I was going to do in 2018, I told myself I'm going to execute it in 2019.
Killing it.
Regardless. So, you know, like even with my website, I built it myself. So, you know, I did everything myself. So it took a very long time to get things done, down to the point my friends was like, dang, when are we going to get our Martha Lorraine, you know, but they didn't understand like the type of work that it really takes. I'm sure you understand, you know, as an entrepreneur, like how much time it takes when you're doing something by yourself.
Right.
So that was one of the reasons. So I just told myself, I'm like, I'm tired of making excuses because honestly, as a perfectionist, you will never reach that goal of what you're trying
Exactly.
to reach. Like, oh,
Where you are now, sorry to cut you. So where you at now, as far as like, you know, you launched early this year, and I understand the passion to, you know, bring in people, and that's one thing entrepreneurs don't consider, bringing people who are passionate about the product.
Right.
Where you at now, as far as like the team?
well, right now as a team, I had a intern, which, you know, thank God she found me. I didn't even find her. I didn't even realize how much I needed her. But right now as a team, I do not have the only other person that, you know, helped me out is my significant other, and he helped me out as much as he can, but, you know, he also had his things going on also. So yeah, I'm definitely looking for interns. So if you know anybody that is passionate about starting not starting a skincare brand, but that's very interested in the beauty industry and seeing how the workings of it behind the scenes, how it goes, send them my way.
Hit up Michelle, yo.
Hit me up.
What products does Martha Lorraine offer? What exact products are
All right, so
people in
Martha
for?
Lorraine. So this right here, first of all, is our self-care box, and what is included in this box is everything you need, or everything you need that's geared towards your self-care. So if you were to buy our self-care box, it comes with a loofah, and everything works together. So, you know, it comes with a loofah, and it comes with our African black soap. And just to let you know, our African black soap and our raw shea butter all is sourced from Ghana, West Africa, you know, paying tribute to my roots. So yes, so it comes. So this box will come with body butter. I can actually show you.
Open that to make me see. Hey, she brought us some little things here. You know, so I'm about to get that glowed up skinny.
So this is, you know, our body butter, and I actually like you to try some. Tell me what you think. No, I want you to take it.
What am I doing?
Just
Oh,
try
okay.
some. Tell me
And
what you
then
think.
put it on my face or
You
here.
can rub it on your hands. It's multi-purpose. You can use it all over your body,
Uh-huh.
all over your hands, your face, your hair. How does it feel?
I think it smells good. It smells good, and it's like real nice, you know, and make my tattoos pop.
Very moisturizing.
Yeah. So this is like a night, like what is that one called? What is that one?
So this is the body butter. So this one consists of shea butter, vitamin E oil, cocoa butter, coconut oil, boab oil, and just a variation of like natural essential oils. And they're all organic.
So this is like your flagship box. Somebody get this to get everything.
Yes. So if you were to get this box, everything that's within the signature brand, which is the initial what I've launched so far, comes in this box. But you could also buy it separately.
This joint smell good.
Thank you.
Ooh.
But yeah, and then I have our natural African black soap, and then I have our natural pine wood soap dish. Now you may ask, why do I need a soap dish, right? We have the thing in our shower where we put our soap. No, it's important, and a lot of people may not understand is that putting your soap in like the soap dish that's in your shower is gathering a lot of bacteria. You need, in order for you to eliminate bacteria and your soap finishing so fast, you need something that has enough holes in it to give it adequate air, to your soap. So
it looks good too. It's
makes
wood.
It last long.
Yeah.
It's all a part of the packaging, and that's another thing. At Martha Lorraine, we're really big on aesthetics, and that's one of the reasons. Like, we want you to feel good about yourself, not yes, putting lotion on or taking care of your skin and things like that. Yes, that's standard, but we want you to feel good about you doing that, and that's one of the reasons why we created this self-care box. And
the self-care stop at the face, or skincare? Does it stop at the face?
What, self-care?
Skincare.
No, skincare doesn't, like this box right here, you can use it on your entire body, like the
soap, for example.
The soap, you can use it. You could wash your hair with the soap. You could wash your face, your entire body, the body butter or the shea butter. You can use it on your entire body. And that was the whole point. I wanted something that you're able to. Men can use it, children can use it. My baby uses it. So everybody in my family uses this. This is a standard box it's multi-purpose, and of course in the future I have other things down the line that is going towards specific things like blemishes control and things like that. But yeah, so that's what comes in our box, and then of course the last thing is our loofah. So like I said, you use the loofah, use the soap with the loofah, all over your body, and then you have your luxurious body butter to take care of the rest. And we have instructions on how to use everything that comes within our line, in the box. So, and on our website, we also have instructions, just how to use each thing and the benefits of it.
Get you that Martha Lorraine, yo. And talk to me, and, transition a little bit about the Martha Lorraine Foundation. What is it, and what it was created for, what purpose?
Okay. I'm so glad you asked me that. So Martha Lorraine Foundation, I'm originally from Liberia and Ghana. And at my last company, I worked for this biotech company, and they have a lot of employees stationed in different countries in Africa because they do a lot of research. And so like I told you, I am a project manager, and I also do finance. And my company, when they found out that I know the lingual in Liberia and I actually have family in Liberia, they was like, oh my God, this is a perfect opportunity to send you there to train our employees there on this accounting system, to teach them how to use it so they could be able to properly journal their finances. So I was like, yes. I
get to go home and work
for free.
You know what I'm saying?
On your dime,
Right.
So yeah, that was an awesome opportunity. And mind you, I haven't been back home at that time, it was 18 years.
Sheesh.
So it was a long time, and I was so grateful to have the opportunity. So, fast forward.
Sorry to cut you. That's the importance of keeping tradition. You know what I'm saying? We bring kids here, or when you raise kids as Africans, teach them the language, teach them the culture. 18 years, you could have easily just forgotten your culture. So,
right,
yeah, sorry to cut you off.
I definitely haven't forgotten my culture.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I went back home to do that. And while I was home, I do remember a lot of things, the struggles of back home. But while I was back home, I remember we were on our way to lunch, and we were in a car, and I'm telling you, there are so many children on the street. I mean, selling things to the car. If when you've been back home, I mean, like coming to our car, selling stuff. There were just so many children everywhere, like in between traffic. I mean, like they could have gotten ran over. And so one of the employees that I had in the car that I was training, I asked her, I was like, hey, why are all these kids on the street? Like, I'm looking at the time, I'm like, it's like 12 or something. Why aren't they in school? And she's like literally chuckled, and she started to laugh. She's like, what do you mean? They're like, this is their life. I'm like, what do you mean? Don't they, like, they can't go to school? She was like, Michelle, This is not America. Education here is not free. A lot of these children you see out here are working for their parents. Some of their parents cannot work because of whatever issues they might have.
And there's
so
plenty.
their child is the healthiest one that's able to bring in their money, and they simply don't have money for education, period. Like, they can't send their children to school because they don't have it. There are no jobs in Liberia. And the main jobs that are in Liberia is in the government, which is already accounted for. So that was like so devastating to me, because education is a really big thing to me. And I was like, wow, like, there's endless, like, the statistics for like rape, and for females in Liberia, for, like the rape statistics, the unemployment, the just the harm of children. It was just a devastating thing for me. I was like, wow, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it really changed my whole outlook on being home and being so happy. I'm like, look at me. I'm like, I don't have the best life, but I have more than these children. And if there's anything that I can do for them, I want to do that, especially it being my home. And that's the reason why that is the flagship, I don't want to say product, but will be in Liberia, is the fundraising. So I decided when I came back, I'm like, you know what, I'm about to start this brand. And Martha Lorraine is not just about skincare. It's not about hair care. It's not just about skincare. I want to impact people's lives. Like, I want whatever I'm blessed with, I want to be a blessing to others. And that's how the Martha Lorraine Foundation came about. And so I've decided that I wanted to start a foundation where I will raise funds for and create like a scholarship, kind of thing. And then, the children, for like the impoverished places in Liberia, and children, of course, some of them might not even know how to write, but just encourage that competition to want to write, to want to get educated, and to get educated. And so that's where that came about. Being able to just, to me, that is my corporate social responsibility. And after the success of that, I would like to extend it in other parts of Africa, and also in here, nationally, because there are a lot of children here that are surfing also.
Thanks.
Even though school is free, but that doesn't mean they have the resources to take to school.
Thanks.
So yeah, that's where that came from. It was really the love of my country, and just seeing the people, or the children, suffering, and me having a son now, like, I was even more attached to the cause. So yeah, that's something that I do.
The Martha Lorraine Foundation.
The Martha Lorraine Foundation.
Now, coming into the cosmetic skincare industry where it's saturated, did you feel any pressure coming into stand out, that you would not stand out, you would fall into? There's so many products that are already out here on the shelves.
Right. I'm a believer. So, and I believe that, everyone have what is meant for them. And I tell a lot of, people that are trying to get into entrepreneurship is not to worry about, what's already out there. Is really what makes you different.
Thanks.
What is within your product. And sometimes, you may say, oh, all the ingredients are the same, but you don't know how I'm making my product. You don't know the different benefits that is going, that you may benefit from. So yes, initially that is something that I thought about. I'm like, what? A lot of people are doing what I'm doing, but what makes me different? Like, why? So just being able to separate myself from what's already out there, I believe is what that's the reason why it didn't drain on me like that. And I also believe that what's meant for you is for you. And if God put it in my head that I'm here to make a difference in people's lives, and this is what my purpose is, He wants me to do this, I believe that this is where I'm meant to be. So therefore I do have a place here. So there is no such thing as saturated. It's about where's your place and what is your purpose and how you're achieving that purpose.
Right. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Man,
you know what I mean? Like, you went from making this thing in by yourself in your dorm room or apartment room in college. Walk us through the process now as an entrepreneur. What's the production process of Martha Lorraine products?
So from making it in my college dorm to now making it in my kitchen at home in my current apartment. So currently I create everything in my apartment, like the packaging, everything. I do everything in my apartment. I mean, if you see behind the scenes, which I plan on journaling, the behind the scenes of, especially when I have big trade shows and things like that, I mean, you'll really see how how that is. A little chaotic, but like I said, I try to keep things in order. I try. I can only try.
I want to bring up something. I don't know how you gonna feel about this. This is deviating a little bit. I think it was like 2 years or so. You were on Wendy Williams show. You went on the Wendy Williams show, and you at the time, it's a funny video. Should I bring this up?
Sure. Yeah. It's hilarious. It's out there. Everybody's seen it.
Where are you at now? Okay, for those who don't know, your question to Wendy was you were your significant other had your baby, and now you want to be celibate. What the heck?
What is the issue with that?
Why? Why the turn? I'm curious. There's no issue with that on my part. Why the turn?
Okay, so let me start by saying Wendy Williams. For those of you who have been on Wendy, you already understand what that process is like. And for those of you who have not, let me break it down to you really quickly. Wendy Williams, half of it is acting. I'm not trying to put it out there that everything is is acting, because it's not fake. It's not fake at all. These are real stories, but they're exaggerated. You understand what I'm saying? Originally, my question was, it was not about, oh, I'm trying to be celibate and I just had a baby. My question was, I am truly trying to walk with God. And my partner and I, yes, we've had a baby, and yes, we've done everything that the Bible said not to do. But, who am I not to want to start over? You know what I'm saying? Like, and with me starting over, this is, what if it brings me and my partner closer together, right? They don't want to hear that on Wendy. They want the juicy stuff. So, I had to word it in a way where they wrote those exact words that I said. They wrote it for me. What I went to tell them was, I'm trying to get closer to God, and how do you feel about me, talking to my partner, like, what do you feel about that, being celibate? And honestly, it was just a fun question, how if I'm trying to get closer to God and I want to be celibate, even though I just had a child, and I understand all of that, how do you feel about that?
What was her advice to you? What was her
But Wendy's show is a gossip show.
Facts.
They're there to have fun.
How you doing?
How you doing? So it's a fun show. It's not there to give you motherly advice, for real. I'm sure you guys have heard some of her her advice. They're not anything you will follow, right? So anyway, that's what happened. And also, you cannot talk. A lot of these TV channels don't want to talk about God on their shows. They don't want you to mention God at all. So I had to cut all that part out. It's like, we don't want to do the religious, thing.
So it was more so experience for you. You were out in New York with your girls and
I was
stuff.
with my girls. It was a fun trip. It was my birthday. I'm like, and I love Wendy. Like, her show is so fun. And I'm like, I want to go to Wendy. Like, I want to go. Let's go. And so it was just a fun trip. But yeah, it was, I wasn't listening to
It's a funny clip. We'll check it out.
It was hilarious.
If you haven't on Michelle's Instagram. You're from Liberia. You got siblings in Ghana. I didn't know you're from Ghana. Which part of your pops from Ghana or mom's from Ghana?
Both. So I actually both are from Liberia, but so this is what it is. We migrated to Budu camp because of the war in Liberia.
Fact, yeah.
And so I lived in Cape Coast, and I also lived in Accra for years. So I actually migrated from Ghana to the United States.
You got siblings?
Yeah.
You mentioned your little sister whose face is on Martha Lorraine.
I have two younger sisters. They're both in Liberia. And the youngest one is the one that's on the Martha Lorraine box. And then, yeah.
How did she feel when she saw this the first time?
I don't know if she truly understands, Africans, they don't understand anything unless it's money. So, if the money start coming in, I'll be like, look, it's because of your name,
Right.
So I'm sure that she'll probably understand it as she get older, but I don't think she fully understands,
I was watching your Snap one time, Instagram Live. You had your family, your son, your man, and y'all were doing your skincare. It was fun. It was fun to watch. What is Michelle's personal skincare routine? Health routine?
So every day my skincare routine is so simple. Thank God. That's the reason why I love Martha Lorraine. It's a simple skincare. It's as simple as it can get. Everything in this box is what I use. Every day I use my African black soap. Every single day, morning and night. And I use my body butter or my raw shea butter. That's it.
Every day.
Every single day.
That's as simple as it gets.
As simple as it gets. I use my shea butter, and then once or twice a week I might do a mask. And I encourage, my followers to do a mask because it's important. And that's why the self-care box is here is, taking care of yourself. Take a day or time out of your day to dedicate that to doing a mask or just taking care of yourself mentally and physically. Yeah.
Add a glass of wine to that periodically and drink a lot of water.
Yes. First of all, if you go on my Instagram, I give out water reminders every single day on my personal and business page. I send out water reminders, and I always do polls to see, like, did you drink your water today? And a lot of them say no. But, it just hopefully, that's reminding them, like, when they go across my stories, they're like, oh, shoot, I need to drink some water. Or, yeah.
Yeah, I dig it. As a young black female entrepreneur killing it in the game right now, what advice do you have for other young ladies, so ladies out there struggling, thinking about venturing into entrepreneurship, be it in the cosmetic industry or just whatever? What advice do you have?
Well, first thing I'll say is pray about whatever it is that you want to do, number one. And when you pray about it and you come up with a decision that this is what you want to do, you better know that it is not easy. It is not an easy journey. Getting into it is, first thing first, find a mentor. Follow somebody that is doing what you want to do. Go and be an intern for that person. Just see how the behind the scenes, because honestly, a lot of people, they just see the pretty side of it. It's really fun. They see how nice it look. The products, they probably tried it, is amazing. So, I'm sorry.
You're good.
But yeah, so they see the glamorous side of it, and follow somebody that's doing what you're doing just so you can see the business side of it, because it is a lot of work. So that's the first thing I'll tell you. Pray about it and be sure that this is what you want to do. And secondly, find a mentor and follow your mentor, see exactly how they did it. And, I'm not saying follow them, see how they did it so you can go and do exactly what they did. But, take from that and turn it into, yours, I would say.
What are you most curious about right now?
What am I most curious?
Most curious about right now?
What do you mean?
Anything. What are you just curious? What I'm most curious about right now is who's going to win the next election. What are you most curious about right now?
Actually, I am curious about that too. What am I most curious about right now? You know what? What I'm most curious about right now is my future. Where this leads me, because at the end of the day, it's not about skincare. It's a journey of helping people find their purpose. Helping people realize that, their journey of whatever it is they're trying to do. For me right now, I want to be an example to people that want to be an entrepreneur or want to start a foundation, and that's what I'm curious about. I'm curious about my future, and I'm curious about where the state of the world would be within the next 10 years, and
Facts.
seeing where we'll be at, and hopefully it's somewhere positive.
I dig it, man. Had the pleasure speaking with Michelle Yancey, the CEO and founder of Martha Lorraine Health, Beauty, Natural Wellness. How can people connect with a brand, get in contact with you, intern, segmenter, advice, all that stuff, get some products?
So first thing first, you could definitely reach me on my personal Instagram, which is Miss Yancy _, and that's MSYANCY_. Or you could follow me on my business page, Martha Lorraine _organics, and that's MARTHA LORINE _ organics. And you could also reach me on marthalorraine.com. You can send me an email if you're actually interested in being a serious intern. You could reach me at Martha Lorraine organics at gmail.com, and keep in contact.
I gotta get a T-shirt too. Hey, appreciate you stopping by,
you
Michelle.
Want to be a glow babe?
I want to glow. Glow don't stop in summer. Winter time.
No, you glow all year.
All year long.
All
Thank
year.
you. See?
Yes.
We'll glow.
We glow all summer, all winter, all spring, fall, and all of that. Autumn, everything.
Black don't crack unless you smoke
At
it.
Okay. I don't know about that part, but I do know that black don't crack.
Hey, listen, Michelle, appreciate you coming through, fam. It's great catching up. I'm proud. I'm very proud and happy.
I'm proud of you. Well, thank you for bringing me on your platform.
Definitely,
I really
man.
appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Shout out to Ma. She made this happen. Listen.
Thank you, Ma. I love you, man.
If you enjoyed what you heard and you listened, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Hit the ringer so you can get updates every time we drop a new episode. We got a full team in the building. Shout out Cheery. Shout out Ma. Shout out. So Charles didn't bring any Popeye's chicken. Why five, bros? Anyway,
Oh,
hey,
is he the Popeye's chicken person?
you're supposed to.
Where's the sandwich?
Hey, Popeyes, that owe me a check for this. Hey, listen, this episode has been sponsored by Perfect Office Solution that provide affordable office space for entrepreneurs in the DMV area, Fort Washington, Baltimore, Silver Spring, Laurel. Hit them up, let them know we sent you. Get 10% off your lease if you need office space. SITM Podcast is the promo code. And do screenshots, do links, send it to your group chats, your Facebook, all that good stuff. Send it to your ex too. Let them know we're popping out here. You heard? I'm Reflex, and this is Stuck in the Middle Podcast. We out.